It's official, Selena Gomez just married Benny in what fans are calling the most wholesome celebrity wedding of the year. The beachside ceremony looked like something out of a dream. Soft candlelight, waves crashing in the distance, and Selena in that stunning wedding dress that broke the internet within minutes. But behind all that love and laughter, something else was brewing. Because while Selena was saying, "I do," Justin Bieber was trending. And not for good reasons. People started asking, where was Justin? Why did he post what he did at the exact same moment those wedding pictures dropped? And why did Hailey Bieber suddenly go quiet? These weren't coincidences. This was a domino effect that exploded into one of the messiest weeks in Hollywood gossip. Let's break down everything that went down, and trust me, by the end of this, you'll see exactly why fans think Justin still hasn't let go. Selena Gomez's wedding to Benny was the fairy tale wedding everyone had been waiting for. Picture it. The Santa Barbara coastline glowing under golden light, fairy strings flickering, and a quiet breeze carrying the sound of violins. Taylor Swift showed up looking angelic. Martin Short served as the ring bearer, and for once, everything felt peaceful for Selena. But that peace didn't last long because that same night, an old storm was starting to brew. While Selena was saying, "I do," the internet was asking, "Where's Justin?" No post, no congrats, not even a like. Within minutes, fans turned detective mode on scrolling his feed, his tags, his stories. They were searching for any kind of reaction. The silence was loud. And when Justin finally did post, the internet exploded. Out of nowhere, he dropped a carousel of basketball selfies captioned, "Thinking about shaving the beard." On any other day, harmless, but that night, while his ex was trending worldwide for her wedding, fans called it out instantly. Comments poured in like, "You lost her, bro. Read the room. He's spiraling again." What looked like a chill post turned into a global headline in under an hour. And that's when the meltdown rumors started flying. Suddenly, TikTok was dissecting every angle of his selfies. Twitter was digging up old Selena clips, and Reddit was calling it a cry for attention. That single post became proof that Justin wasn't over it. But no one expected his own family to step into the fire next. The moment Justin's post hit the feed, social media turned into a crime scene. Fans started dissecting every pixel of those basketball selfies like they were clues from a missing person case. Some said his eyes looked glossy, others swore his smile looked forced. Even the lighting became a topic of debate. It was supposed to be just a quick upload, but the internet doesn't do casual when it comes to Justin and Selena. And before anyone could blink, the narrative took off on its own. Twitter threads called it the most awkwardly timed post in celebrity history. TikTok creators were stitching the wedding footage with his captions, saying, "You can't tell me this wasn't intentional." The energy online was wild heartbreak edits, conspiracy breakdowns, even fake leaked DMs. It wasn't about basketball anymore, it was about heartbreak, nostalgia, and a love story fans refused to let die. And right when things felt like they couldn't get messier, someone else joined the conversation. Justin's mom, Patty, jumped on X with a single post that read, "Pray for Justin." No explanation, no emojis, nothing. Just that one line. Within minutes, it went viral. Fans started panicking, tabloids ran with headlines like "Justin Bieber in crisis," and everyone assumed the worst. That tweet was gasoline on a fire that already out of control. And suddenly, what started as a weird photo post became an international story. People began connecting dots that maybe weren't even there, that Justin was heartbroken, that he was spiraling, that Selena's wedding had sent him into a tailspin. Even credible outlets started speculating. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it felt like everyone was watching a public breakdown unfold in real time. But what came next would shift the story from online chaos to something way more personal. And that was the moment Hailey finally stepped in. When Patty dropped that "Pray for Justin" tweet, everything shifted. It wasn't just internet drama anymore, it felt like something serious was happening behind the scenes. Fans started speculating wildly. Was he crying? Was there a panic attack? Did something happen between him and Hailey? Every blog and gossip page jumped on it within minutes. And suddenly, Justin's mental state became the biggest story online. But the truth behind the scenes was even heavier than anyone realized. Insiders began leaking that Justin hadn't taken Selena's wedding well at all. Multiple sources told outlets that he'd spent that night scrolling through pictures of Selena in her wedding dress, replaying the clips, and reading every single comment. He couldn't look away. People close to him said he went completely quiet, almost zoned out, and stayed up until morning. It was that kind of silence that says everything without saying a word. And as dawn hit, Hailey knew something was off. The next morning, those around the couple described Justin as distant. He was snapping easily, barely talking, and pacing around like he couldn't focus. He wasn't angry, he was unsettled, and Hailey could feel it instantly. She's seen that energy before, the haunted kind that comes up whenever Selena's name resurfaces. So she pulled him aside and tried to talk, hoping to calm things before it spiraled further. But what started as concern quickly turned into confrontation. Hailey wasn't mad about the wedding itself, she was mad about the aftermath. The silence, the headlines, the fact that once again, everyone was comparing her marriage to Justin's past. She'd kept quiet through years of trolls calling her the replacement, through constant comparisons she never asked for. But this time felt different, it felt personal. She told him straight, "You can't keep letting this control you." And that sentence lit the fuse that would blow everything open in the next chapter. What started as a calm conversation between Justin and Hailey quickly turned into something heavy. She wasn't yelling, she was hurt. She asked simple questions that cut deep. Why does everything always come back to her? And why does the world think you still care? Justin tried to brush it off, but Hailey wasn't buying it. She told him that no matter what he posts, the internet will twist it back to Selena. Every caption, every photo, every song lyric, it all becomes about his ex. And that's when the tension really snapped. Justin reportedly fired back, saying he was tired of people assuming every move he made was about Selena. He insisted he was just trying to live his life, that he'd moved on, that people were reading too much into everything. But his tone, the defensiveness, the edge in his voice said otherwise. It wasn't anger at Hailey, it was frustration at being haunted by his past. Still, to her, it sounded like denial. And denial, in that moment, felt like betrayal. Hailey's voice cracked as she told him how exhausting it was to keep living in someone else's shadow. She reminded him how hard she's fought to protect their marriage, how many times she's been humiliated online, and how often she's had to smile through comparisons she never asked for. It wasn't just about Selena's wedding, it was about years of pain catching up all at once. And that pain was now sitting between them, heavy and unspoken. Witnesses close to the couple say that by the end of the night, Hailey had left the room in tears. Justin stayed behind, silent, scrolling through his phone again, the same habit that always pulls him back into the chaos. He didn't post, he didn't tweet, he just stared at the screen, lost in the noise. And the next morning, the fallout from that silence would shake the internet all over again. By the next morning, Hailey had reached her limit. After another sleepless night, she woke up to see her husband trending again. Not for his music, not for anything positive, but because fans thought he was still in love with his ex. It was like déjà vu. Every time she tried to move forward, the past followed. She felt trapped in a never-ending comparison game she never signed up for. And that's when the emotions she'd been holding in finally broke loose. Sources close to the couple said Hailey confronted Justin one last time, this time through tears. She told him she couldn't keep doing this, that every vague post, every cryptic caption, made her look like she was competing for a man who wasn't even emotionally present. She told him, "You don't realize what this does to me. Every time you post something, I get dragged all over the internet." Her voice cracked, her frustration spilling over after years of quiet endurance. And Justin's reaction only made things worse. Instead of comforting her, Justin reportedly froze up, defensive, confused, silent. He mumbled that he was just tired of people twisting his intentions, that he didn't mean to cause drama. But to Hailey, that sounded like an excuse. She needed accountability, not damage control. She told him that no one else could fix this. Not PR teams, not fan statements. Only he could stop giving the internet fuel. But that truth hit hard, and neither of them seemed ready to face it. Hailey walked away mid-conversation, tears streaming down her face. She locked herself in the bathroom, according to insiders, and stayed there for hours. That's when she posted that short Instagram story, "Protecting my peace." No context, no emojis. Just like Justin's mom's tweet, it said everything without saying a word. And that single post would spark a brand new wave of chaos before the day was even over. The second Hailey hit post on that "Protecting my peace" story, the internet lit up like a wildfire. Within minutes, the screenshots were everywhere: blogs, TikTok edits, Twitter threads. People immediately assumed it was aimed at Justin. Some said it was her subtle cry for help, others swore it was shade. That single sentence, 8 simple words, became the headline of the day. And once again, the internet twisted a private pain into public drama. Reddit threads exploded, TikTok creators began dissecting her tone, her font choice, even the time she posted it. It was ridiculous, but it's what always happens with the Biebers. One user wrote, "Every time Selena sneezes, Hailey posts a quote. Coincidence? I think not." Others defended her, saying she's human, that maybe she was just trying to breathe through the noise. But in the court of social media, nobody gets the benefit of the doubt, and the theories only got wilder from there. Fans noticed Hailey had disabled comments under her last post. Then a few sharp-eyed followers claimed she unfollowed some mutual friends connected to Selena. Nothing was confirmed, but that didn't matter. The internet had already decided the narrative that Hailey was spiraling, that her marriage was falling apart, that Justin had pushed her too far. And once that story took hold, it spread faster than the truth ever could. Meanwhile, Justin went completely silent. No posts, no comments, not even a sighting. And in celebrity world, silence speaks volumes. Fans started filling in the blanks. Maybe he was hiding. Maybe they were fighting. Maybe this was the end. Hashtags like "Pray for Hailey" and "Justin Breakdown" began trending side by side. It was deja vu all over again. The same love triangle, the same chaos, the same storm of opinions drowning out the real people inside it. And what happened next would only make the tension worse, because this time, it wasn't just online drama. It was starting to affect their marriage for real. Behind the scenes, things were crumbling fast. While the internet dissected every pixel of Hailey's Instagram story, Justin's team was reportedly in full-blown crisis mode. According to insiders, his publicists were scrambling to control the optics, drafting statements, monitoring hashtags, and begging him not to post anything else. They'd seen this pattern before. A single misstep could turn into weeks of bad press. And this time, it wasn't just about public image. It was about saving what was left of his marriage. Hailey, meanwhile, had gone completely quiet. No selfies, no quotes, no cryptic captions, just brand promos and silence. But the more silent she stayed, the louder the internet got. Gossip pages flooded feeds with side-by-side photos of Selena's wedding and Justin's old interviews, saying things like, "He never looked at Hailey like that." It was brutal. The headlines weren't just attacking Justin anymore, they were making Hailey look like collateral damage. And that shift in sympathy started changing everything. For years, people had painted Hailey as the villain, the homewrecker, the mean girl, the jealous wife. But now, the narrative was starting to flip. Fans began realizing just how much she'd been enduring in silence. TikTok comments read, "She doesn't deserve this," and "You can tell she's tired." Even some hardcore Selena fans admitted that the constant comparisons had gone too far. For the first time, people were seeing Hailey not as a rival, but as a victim of endless public obsession. And that change in tone made Justin's silence look even worse. Inside their home, insiders say the tension was undeniable. Conversations turned short, energy turned cold, and every room felt heavier. Hailey wanted support, reassurance, but Justin was shutting down. He wasn't yelling or fighting, he was just checked out, emotionally distant, trapped inside his own head. His friends said he looked exhausted, not just physically, but spiritually. And when someone you love starts to emotionally disappear, it's only a matter of time before something snaps. After weeks of chaos online, insiders began revealing that things between Justin and Hailey weren't just tense, they were fragile. Friends close to them said conversations turned shorter, and the silence in their house got heavier by the day. They weren't arguing nonstop, but there was this emotional distance that felt worse than yelling. It's the kind of silence where both people feel alone in the same room. And when that kind of energy lingers too long, something always gives. According to Life and Style, Hailey confided in a friend that she felt like she was the only one still trying. She said Justin had been pulling away emotionally, shutting down every time she tried to connect. He'd spend long stretches on his phone, zoning out, scrolling through old photos and news articles, and every time Selena's name popped up, Hailey said she could feel the mood in the room shift. It wasn't about jealousy anymore, it was about exhaustion. Meanwhile, Justin's team was reportedly begging him to take a break. From posting, from press, from everything. They could tell he was burned out. Years of fame, scrutiny, and now this storm of wedding drama had taken a toll. One source told Radar Online that Justin had been talking about stepping back from the spotlight entirely. Maybe take time off, go offline, focus on therapy, and rebuild quietly with Hailey. And that idea, for the first time in months, gave them both a tiny sense of hope. Hailey, too, wanted a reset. She told friends she just wanted to breathe again. No headlines, no hashtags, no fan wars. She said she was tired of being the villain in someone else's love story. That one sentence said everything. The years of online abuse, the constant comparisons, the emotional pressure, it all came crashing down. And when a person finally says they just want peace, it means they've reached their breaking point. Insiders say the couple started discussing a quiet reset, possibly a full social media break, maybe even leaving Los Angeles for a while. No paparazzi, no spotlight, just time to heal. But the problem with being Justin and Hailey Bieber is that no matter how far they run, the world always finds them. And what came next proved that even silence can be turned into a headline. Something unexpected started happening online. The internet began to switch sides. For years, people dragged Hailey through the mud, calling her the replacement, the obsessed wife, and worse. But after Selena's wedding chaos, something in the tone changed. TikTok comment sections that used to mock her were now full of empathy. Fans were saying she's been patient too long, and no woman deserves to live in her husband's past. It was like the collective internet suddenly realized that maybe Hailey wasn't the villain. Maybe she was the one quietly breaking. And that realization changed everything. Even diehard Selena fans were starting to admit it had gone too far. Threads that once trashed Hailey started turning reflective, people realizing how toxic the comparisons had been, not just for Hailey, but for Selena and Justin too. It wasn't fun anymore, it was uncomfortable. The public was beginning to see the human side of the story, the exhaustion, the heartbreak, the way online obsession destroys real relationships. But as sympathy for Hailey grew, the pressure on Justin intensified. Fans began calling Justin out for staying silent. They flooded his comments with messages like, "Defend your wife," and "Say something for once." People felt like he had a responsibility to publicly shut down the rumors, to finally draw a line between his past with Selena and his marriage with Hailey. But instead of a statement, he gave silence. No posts, no interviews, no reassurance. And to fans, that silence looked like guilt. It felt like the longer he stayed quiet, the louder the questions got. The irony was painful. Justin thought staying quiet would calm things down, but it only made the internet louder. Every day he stayed off-grid. TikTok creators posted new theories, that he was avoiding Hailey, that he regretted the marriage, that he'd never gotten closure from Selena. None of it was proven, but when millions of people start repeating a rumor, it doesn't matter what's true anymore. And now, even Justin's silence had become part of the scandal. By this point, both of them were drained. Hailey had finally gained sympathy, but at the cost of her privacy. Justin had tried to disappear, but his absence became its own headline. And when love turns into a PR storm, there's only one thing left to do: disappear completely, or face it head-on. After weeks of online chaos, Justin and Hailey finally went dark. No posts, no sightings, No cryptic stories, just silence. Insiders said it wasn't a PR move this time, it was survival. The constant noise, the endless comparisons, and the emotional toll had finally broken them down. Friends close to the couple said they were trying to rebuild quietly, privately, away from the cameras. And for the first time in a long time, they both seemed to realize that healing couldn't happen online. Justin reportedly started reflecting on everything, not just the drama, but the years of pressure, fame, and unfinished emotions he'd buried. One insider told Daily Mail that he admitted he still struggles with how much the world connects his identity to Selena, that it's hard to move forward when millions of people keep dragging him backward. But deep down, Justin wanted peace. He felt guilty about how his posts and silence had affected Hailey, and he knew things had to change. And sometimes, guilt can be the first step toward growth. Hailey, on the other hand, began setting boundaries. She told close friends she's done letting social media define her worth, that from now on she'll protect her mental space first, no matter what headlines come. She's focused on peace, therapy, faith, and staying surrounded by people who ground her. She's tired of reacting to noise that doesn't deserve her energy. And that quiet strength might be the very thing holding their marriage together right now. Recently, fans spotted Justin and Hailey in Los Angeles, grabbing coffee, no smiles, but no distance either. They looked tired, human, normal. There was no glam, no fake affection for cameras. Just two people trying to figure out what love looks like after fame, trauma, and years of public scrutiny. And maybe that's what people forget. Behind the headlines, these are two real humans learning how to exist in a world that never stops watching. And even in silence, the world keeps talking. Because here's the truth, no matter how far they go, the ghost of that triangle, Justin, Selena, and Hailey, still follows them. It's not about who's better or who's worse. It's about how a decade-long obsession turned into a cycle they can't escape. Maybe one day, the internet will finally let them live in peace. But until then, every move they make will be another headline, another theory, another storm. And that's the curse of being Justin and Hailey Bieber in 2025. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about Selena's wedding, or Hailey's tears, or Justin's silence. It's about what happens when the past refuses to stay in the past. Fame doesn't let people heal quietly. It replays the same heartbreak on loop year after year, until even love starts to feel like performance. And for Justin and Hailey, every moment of peace gets interrupted by a flashbulb or a comment section that won't move on. And maybe that's what hurts the most, realizing you can't outrun a story the world keeps rewriting for you. Because this isn't just another celebrity feud, it's a reflection of how social media feeds on emotion. Every selfie becomes a clue, every silence becomes a headline, every heartbreak becomes a spectacle. The internet doesn't let people be human anymore. And if we're being honest, it's not just about them, it's about us too. We watch, we judge, we click. We keep the fire burning, and maybe that's the part of this story that nobody wants to admit. But here's what's real. Somewhere out there, behind all the filters and gossip, Justin and Hailey are just two people trying to figure out how to love each other in a world that refuses to let them. No villains, no perfect fairy tales, just people trying to hold on. And maybe that's the closest thing to truth we'll ever get from this entire saga. So what do you think? Is Justin still haunted by his past? Or is the internet twisting the narrative once again? Drop your thoughts below because I want to hear every theory. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell because here on Trending Tea, the drama never sleeps. And neither do the receipts.